Shavua Tov. I know what you're thinking. Rabbi, what right do you have giving a drasha if the Patriots aren't in it this year? Rabbi, you had your spotlight giving back-to-back Super Bowl drashas. And 3 of them were winning drashas. Give it up. Let the rabbis in Florida or Kansas City have their turn. Well, my friends, it is very hard to break a good habit. I am just so accustomed to sharing Torah with you on every Erev Super Bowl. Plus, the month of Adar is almost here, and we all need some help, especially this year. And Mishnichnas Adar, Marbim Bisimcha. Not to pat Mahomes on the back, okay, no more puns. But I believe this year my words carry much more weight. You see, because the Patriots aren't in it, I'm capable of offering a totally unbiased, absolutely objective analysis of the matchup. And that starts with looking deeply at the essence of the team names. Because we all know from our study of Tanakh that a name is more than just something you call someone. A name is about the soul of something. It reveals the inner qualities and values of an entity. Okay, Rabbi, we're not at a bris. Get on with it. So I ask you, my friends, who are the Buccaneers? Who are the Chiefs? According to Wikipedia, the only source of truth other than the Torah, the Buccaneers were a 19th century name given to a landless group of hunters of wild pigs on Caribbean islands. Not so kosher. But it gets worse. Eventually, the name was applied to pirates who engaged in maritime warfare. They stole stuff from innocent people for fun, which just proves that if you eat treif, it's a slippery slope to stealing stuff, especially other teams' star quarterbacks. Oy vey. Time to move on to the Chiefs. This one's going to be hard to do in a politically correct way. So if you're sensitive about those kind of things, cover your ears, or just consider this Purim Torah and give me a free pass. The Kansas City Chiefs claim on their website that their name has nothing to do with Native Americans. Their name was chosen as a reference to a beloved Kansas City mayor who was nicknamed Chief. Sure, of course it was. Sounds like revisionist history to me, and a creative excuse for not wanting to join the ranks of the Redskins and the Indians. If you don't believe me, take a look at what comes up as Google Images for Kansas City fan. I would show you, but I'm wearing these must-have mittens. You will see that Native American headdresses are worn by the archetypal Kansas City Chief fan. So I ask you to sum up the Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. Would you rather root for robbers or for racists? Chazal were very conflicted about this one, and they concluded the sugya with a traditional teku. Believe it or not, that is not the most morally perplexing question that we face today. There is one that trumps, can we use that word yet? The one that I just raised. I have been asked this question by many teenagers in our shul who grew up with a TB12 complex, which is an official diagnosis in the latest version of the DSM of the American Psychiatric Association. It's a condition that results from profound emotional enmeshment with the goat. The most common symptoms are not dealing well with losing and getting deflated very quickly. These teens have been texting me all week. Rabbi, is it mutter to cheer for the goat if he still has the number 12 on the front of his jersey, but the colors and the team name are not of the Patriots type? This Talmudic question, in my mind, is the ultimate barometer of a successful day school education. You will find a link below for supporting Stryer Hebrew Day School. Well, here is my psak. I couldn't find a precedent in the Shulchan Aruch or even on Rabbi Google, but I am confident in my response. Here are the top 4 Torah Misinai reasons to cheer for Tom Brady today. Number 1, our Torah way of life gives more kavod to the Zikanim. The goat has 18 years and 45 days of zikna on Pat Mahomes. We just read the 10 Commandments and honoring your parents and show yesterday. The goat could be Patrick's dad. Come on. Number 2, the football gods always beam their light on the handsome head of the goat. He threw 3 interceptions in a row and still won the game against the Packers. And that late flag pass interference call on Tyler Johnson, that was just bad reception between the football gods and the refs. Number 3, for the sake of the dynasty. Which narrative would you prefer this offseason? Tom Brady, the GOAT's GOAT, or Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the NFL's newest dynasty? We must preserve the GOAT's throne. And number 4, maybe there is an argument for rooting against Tom Brady, but there is no good reason for rooting against Rob Gronkowski. That's like booing a panda at the zoo. Plus, our very own Perry Antleman has a chavruta with Gronk. If Tampa Bay wins today, we will be 1 yard closer to davening in the new Gronkowski family sanctuary at the Young Israel of Sharon. I wish you a fun day and many smiles ahead in this month of Adar. Go Pats!